The memory definitely has a way of making things from childhood seem more impressive than they actually are. That's not to say that I did not thoroughly enjoy rewatching Thomas and Gordon, because I absolutely did. I'm not saying that I'm going to commit to watching and reviewing every single episode of Thomas, but I do find that whenever I feel like I'm in the mood for nostalgia, going back to Thomas with its beautiful stop motion really takes me back to my childhood. It's a great way to kind of de-stress and unwind and just feel like a child again. And honestly, the narrative is lovely. There's significantly less stop motion than I remembered. There are a lot of stills and not a great deal of, well, it's not even stop motion, is it? Because it's just a train moving. Um, there are obviously mechanical trains that have little batteries, I assume. Um, and yeah, in my mind, it was like this exquisite, fluid stop motion with the characters moving and everything. Um, Not quite, but nevertheless, it still holds up. The first episode is directed by David Mitten. According to IMDb, it aired originally in 1984. Predates me by 8 years. And in this episode, Thomas is being very boastful about how hard he works to bring in the carriages when the engines have brought them back to the station. And Gordon, one of the bigger engines, is really not happy with Thomas's attitude. So he decides to play a trick on Thomas to teach Thomas that actually he does work very hard. And I guess I'll spoil it. I'll say what happens. Gordon, when Thomas is bringing the carriages to him, Gordon speeds off really quickly so that Thomas doesn't have a chance to get uncoupled. Now, I learned that word today. I had no idea what the word, in this context, uncoupling meant, and I feel like there might be a lot more train-based vocabulary throughout the episode, so I'm kind of keen to keep watching and see if that's the case. And, of course, as Gordon speeds along really quickly, Thomas is attached to the carriages and is struggling to keep up. He's having to huff and puff his way until they get to a station. And the lesson there, of course, is you should never be boastful or brag and tease people about how amazing you are, because it's not nice, and you will get your comeuppance. The narrative is really important, of course. It's a really important message, not just for children, but for anybody. But yeah, as I said, there are a lot of stills. It's largely just photos coupled with a decent amount of shots of trains moving on this model railway. And they don't even try and hide the fact that the people are just little figures. And I like that. I love that. It just adds to this. I'm one of those people who loves model railways. You know, I'm one of the people who, if I was a multi-millionaire, my hobby would be model railways, because I just think they're amazing and they're so fun. They're both intricate and childlike at the same time. And I love the fact that this is at the heart of these earlier Thomas episodes. I know even a lot more recent ones are like that, but they definitely use CGI a bit more, and certainly with, you know, characters, the human characters and things. But no, this is stripped back to basics. More basic than I remembered, but it works very well. It's narrated by Ringo Starr, of course, and it's an absolute delight. If you grew up watching Thomas and you haven't seen this in a while, definitely give it a watch. It's probable that it won't be quite as you remember it, if it's anything like my case, but I honestly really did thoroughly enjoy it. It's the ultimate nostalgia.